Brothers, thank you for considering this matter regarding Brother Brown and the impact that his family situation is having on the congregation. I asked you, brothers, to review his qualifications as an elder. After we spoke, and Brother Brown had an opportunity to explain to me some of the decisions that he's made for his family. I'm aware that you brothers have considered this matter before, but since then, another one of Brother Brown's daughters have enrolled in a school for higher education, which raises questions as to how this affects the congregation. When we make decisions, it's important that we consider the conscience of the congregation as well as the elder body. Brother Brown, I know this can't be easy for you, and it's not easy for us either. Please be assured that we love you, and we only want what's best for you and your family. Remember, you're among friends here, so please feel free to express yourself and to answer any questions that your fellow elders may have. Brothers, we are obligated to put the interests of the congregation first.
Brothers, with all due respect, I don't agree with you that the congregation is disturbed about my or my family's situation. I've been in the congregation for 20 years. I know the publishers very well, and I'm sure no one is disturbed about my daughter's pursuing higher education. As far as my younger daughter is concerned, she was judicially reproved, but it wasn't announced to the congregation, so she's repentant. And no one has approached me expressing that they're disturbed about me supporting my daughters seeking higher education, trying to better themselves. It's not like they're leaving the truth.
Brother Brown, thank you for expressing how you feel. Let's give your fellow elders an opportunity to express their observations or concerns. Brothers, are there any comments or questions that you have for Brother Brown? Brother Anderson, please.
Brother Brown, it is true. Some of the congregation have been negatively affected. They've been disturbed by the example of your daughters pursuing higher education. You've openly talked about wanting the best life for your daughters. And this has given some the impression that the only way to get the best life, it's not through spiritual things, but through secular pursuits. Some of the congregation are even confused about what the organization has stated regarding pursuing higher education. In fact, Sister Single's daughter is considering pursuing higher education because of the example of your daughters.
Thank you, Brother Anderson. Brother Williams, please.
And just because the brothers and sisters have not approached you about this matter doesn't mean that they're not disturbed by what they see. They understand that it's a personal decision and that's something that you have to decide, but it still doesn't mean that your freeness of speech is not affected. In fact, the freeness of speech of the entire body of elders, as well as how successful we are as shepherds, has been affected as well. As Brother Anderson mentioned, when we promote the full-time ministry as the best way of life, this situation has now influenced how some of the congregation set that as a goal or even want to set that as a goal for their life.
Brother Miller?
Andy, the scriptural qualifications at 1 Timothy chapter 3 say that an overseer, in verse 4 and 5, should be a man presiding over his own household in a fine manner, having his children in subjection with all seriousness. Verse 3 says that he should be reasonable, not quarrelsome. Now, I know this is difficult for you. It's difficult for us too.
Don't tell me about being difficult. When we started this discussion, you all brothers said you love me and my family. Right now, I'm not feeling it. You've been nothing but negative.
Brother Brown, thank you for your comments. Please take a seat in the other room, and we'll call you back when we make our decision. Now, brothers, please open your shepherd book to chapter 8. You'll notice paragraph 30 discusses when a member of an appointed man's household pursues higher education. and paragraph 32, which outlines the procedure for reviewing the qualifications of such a man. Now, what are your observations? Brother Williams, please.
Brother Brown has served faithfully for many years. But the question that's within paragraph number 30 is important. How is he viewed by the congregation? Sad to say, the actions of his family have caused him to lose the respect of the congregation. In fact, some publishers have mentioned that if they need scriptural advice on family life, they'll just talk to another elder.
Thank you for those comments, Brother Williams. Brother Anderson, please.
The same paragraph says, if an appointed brother's children pursue higher education, does his life pattern show that he puts kingdom interests first in his life? I don't think any of us can honestly say that Brother Brown's family is viewed as putting kingdom interests first in their life. Their conversations aren't spiritual, and I don't think the family, the wife, or the daughters have ever regular or auxiliary pioneered.
That is a cause for concern. Brother Miller, please.
I agree with those comments. And in addition, the last question in paragraph 30 asks, does the pursuit of higher education interfere with regular meeting attendance, meaningful participation in field service, or other theocratic activities? His girls are not visible in the ministry, and because of their class schedule, they rarely are at meetings. It's obvious that spiritual things have become second place in their life.
So it appears that they're drifting spiritually. Brother Anderson, please.
Yeah. And 1 Peter 5:3 says an overseer should be an example to the flock. But the reality is the family is a poor example, and they're having an influence on other young ones in the congregation who are now also considering pursuing higher education.
Now, looking at paragraph 31, what would you brothers say has been his response to the counsel that has been given? Brother Miller.
It hasn't been well. He's been belligerent. He's accused us of overstepping, and he keeps insisting that this is a personal family decision. He never took into consideration the feelings of the congregation. Unfortunately, he no longer has the freeness of speech as mentioned at 1 Timothy 3:13.
Brother Anderson.
And as it says in 1 Timothy 3:3, that overseer needs to be, should be reasonable and not quarrelsome. And James 3:17 reminds us wisdom from above is peaceable, reasonable, ready to obey. But sadly, he doesn't accept counsel from any of us. When we've counseled him on matters, he justifies it or minimizes it. He bullies the body. It's his experience and his opinions that have dictated outcomes. And I'm sure you've seen that today.
I did observe that. Thank you for those thoughts. Brother Williams, do you have something more to add?
Yes, I did. Initially, the first time we discussed this, we agreed that he doesn't have the respect of the body. But Brother Brown is very outspoken, and he's very skilled. He's very skilled at manipulating the rest of the body to adjusting our viewpoints towards his viewpoint.
Thank you for sharing that. He can be rather persuasive. Is there anything else that you brothers would like to add to our consideration?
I didn't have anything more.
Okay. So we need to come to a decision regarding his qualifications, and we'll need to tell him the scriptural reasons why that decision is made when we invite him back to the room.
Do you mean you want us to tell him? I'm not sure. Andy always has such a hot temper. That's why it's usually easier to go along with his demands.
While that may have been true in the past, I know that you brothers want to do things that are in harmony with Jehovah's Holy Spirit and the direction from his organization. after weighing all of the facts and comparing them against the scriptural qualification, and remembering to whom we're accountable, what do you brothers recommend? Brother Anderson.
I'm disappointed to say it, but I feel like we should recommend his deletion. I don't think we can say that he continues to have freeness of speech or that he's an example in presiding over his family.
I agree. In addition, he's neither peaceable or reasonable when things don't go his way.
All in favor of this recommendation? Okay, it's unanimous. So we have considered the guidelines from Jehovah's organization. You brothers have provided me with the scriptural reasons, and I support your recommendation. Brother Anderson and Brother Williams, would you like to express to Brother Brown the reasons for this decision? And Dan, could you please ask Brother Brown back to the room so that we can inform him of our unanimous decision and we can show him from the scriptures how we reached this decision? Brother Brown, thank you for your patience in waiting. After prayerfully weighing all of the facts and considering the scriptures, the body of elders unanimously decided to recommend your deletion as an elder, and I agree with them. The brothers will now explain to you the reasons why we reached this decision.
Brother Brown, as you know, 1 Timothy 3 verses 4 and 5 says that an overseer should be a man presiding over his household in a fine manner, having his children in subjection with all seriousness. The elders unanimously agree that your decision to support and encourage your daughters to pursue higher education has damaged their spirituality.
And verse 3 says that as elders, we need to be reasonable and not quarrelsome. But we've observed for some time now that when dealing with matters, even this one, you've not responded kindly. You've been quarrelsome. You've even shouted at us. And so when we weighed all the facts and we looked at the scriptural qualifications in 1 Timothy chapter 3 and Titus 1, well, you no longer meet some of those qualifications. Do you understand the reasons, the scriptural reasons for our
Are
decision?
you kidding me? I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense. You're just being unfair and unreasonable. I've done nothing but work hard for you brothers in this congregation. It's absurd. It's ridiculous.
Brother Brown, we understand you're upset. Perhaps it would be a good idea if we offered a prayer. Would you mind if I did that?
Sure, if you want to say a prayer, go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to pray. Be assured that the brothers prayerfully considered this recommendation. They weighed all of the facts. Brother Brown, the brothers here, they love you. These brothers here, they love you, your family, and the congregation.
I don't know about that. It just makes me so angry. These brothers don't even want me on the body anymore. Hurtful.
I can understand how you might feel, but in reality, the brothers do want you on the body, and they hope that you can return. Let me ask you, do you think that the elder body is accountable to Jehovah to uphold his high standards for appointed men? And isn't that what you would encourage them to do?
Yes.
That's why when we weighed all of the facts and the scriptural qualifications, as well as considering the direction from Jehovah's organization, the body of elders and I decided that you no longer meet the qualifications for an appointed man.
I understand what you're saying, but I do not agree with this decision.
Prayerfully think about what we talked about today. And of course, if it is your decision to appeal, please consult the information as found in the Shepherd Book, Chapter 8, paragraph 39.